my part in the story of the Galliwasp specimen started in this room. In August 2021, only a few months after I just started this job, I was going through the specimens just to familiarise myself with the collection, and came across a large lizard in a jar that was mentioned as being from Jamaica. The name was Celestis occidus, the scientific name. The jar itself, the seal, was a little bit worn, so I decided to take the specimen out and replace the seal. And whilst I was doing that, I took a photograph, and it happened to be International Lizard Day. So I tweeted about it, but stored away in the back of my head that this was a very interesting specimen, and one that I wanted to use in some way, in some display, rather than having it just sitting on a shelf for another 50 years. That opportunity came up with the Curating Discomfort program, which just in December 21 involved selecting specimens from the collection to present to a group of community curators, and one of them selected it to go on display and wrote a label about it, looking at how this species of lizard has gone extinct largely because of a sort of colonialism, plantation culture in Jamaica, which has resulted in loss of habitat, invasive species, and all the problems connected with that. And then wonderfully went out the store and ended up going on display in the main museum. But then I thought, I actually want something more to happen to this. What happens next? Will it just go back in the store again? And the research I'd been doing for the project showed that examples of this Jamaican Giant Galliwasp were in collections in other parts of Scotland and the rest of the UK, throughout Europe, in North America, but as far as I could find out, there were none in Jamaica itself. The specimens there had been lost in past earthquakes and fires, and because this lizard was now extinct, there wasn't any possibility to collect new ones. And so I reached out to a colleague at the University of the West Indies, Dr. Shani Roper, just asking if they'd like a Galliwasp, after having discussed it with my bosses, of course. And very quickly she came back with a positive response, and very quickly this involved getting members of the Institute of Jamaica, the Natural History Museum, there involved, and everyone was very excited about the possibility of finally getting their hands on a specimen that they could then put on display in the main National Natural History Museum and start telling the tale again of the Galliwasp. And then for transport, what we have to do, we can't just send the specimen back to Jamaica in a jar full of alcohol. So what we do is take the specimen out, wrap it in cotton cheesecloth, soak that in alcohol, and then double bag it in plastic bags, heat sealed plastic bags, making sure that there's no free flowing alcohol in the bag. Everything's soaked up by the cotton rag. And then the whole bag itself is put in a small plastic box, clip lock lid. So ultimately it's a sort of triple sealed specimen. This can then be hand carried on the plane. We'll also send the jars back as well. We've got a nice presentation jar, but also a secure clip lock lid, Kilner style jar. And when the specimen gets back to Jamaica, the curator there will unwrap it, take it out the plastic bags, put it back into his jar and top it up again with fresh ethanol, 70% ethanol, and that way the specimen can carry on for decades, if not centuries more, being there to teach, to educate, to contribute to research, and to hopefully change the attitudes of people towards this unfortunate extinct endemic species of lizard.